Welcome back to episode 191 of the Life and Stride podcast. On this episode, we had on legendary multi-event athlete Curtis Beach. Curtis was a professional decathlete and two-time NCAA champion at Duke. Now he is a coach and educator of the sport. Naturally, Curtis knows a whole lot about track and field, not only because he was a pro athlete, because he is proficient in pretty much every event in track and field. So obviously, most of our audience is distance runners. So we talked a lot about running form and how to improve your top end speed. We also talked about some current events in track and field, such as Fred Curley, Chicago Marathon, and many other things. So this was a great episode. I hope you really enjoy it. Please consider giving Curtis a follow. I'll put the link to his Instagram below. He has an awesome account. If you enjoyed the episode, please leave a review, drop a comment. We read every comment and try to respond to everyone. And of course, share it with a friend. Love you, mean it. When we're running through Norton Commons or the Pewee Valley area in Louisville, Kentucky, it's pretty easy to spot Mason Construction Home. The attention to detail, the quality, the stunning design, you can't miss it. It stands out. We aren't just saying that either. Our own co-host Scotty trusted Mason Construction to build his forever home, and he and his family couldn't be happier. Don't tell Scotty this, but we're at his house a lot because we love the home. He's all right too, though. If you live in the Louisville or Southern Indiana area and are thinking about building your forever home or doing a remodel, there is nobody else to trust with this project than Mason Construction. The link to their website is in our show notes. Click on the request information option and start the conversation about what your forever home could look like. Our other co-host Scotty, he'll like a lot of times do rapid fires at the beginning of the episode, but every time we do it and he's not here, it just doesn't feel right. It's like he
That makes
he
sense.
nails it. It's his
Yeah.
thing. So
That makes me so nervous, those rapid fires. I'm like, oh gosh.
yeah, they're just like completely not related to any running
Really?
stuff. It's
Oh,
always
that's
yeah, it's
funny.
just always goofy stuff. But all right, episode 191, we got Curtis Beach on, the legendary decathlete and now a coach and educator of the sport. Curtis, thanks for hopping on, man.
No, thank you. Excited to be
Curtis, I
here.
wanna ask you about soft surface running off the bat. I think it was you that I saw. You had the stick and you were bouncing it on different surfaces, and one was the sidewalk, and the stick rebounded super high, and then you did it on asphalt, and it was high, but not as high, and then I think you did it on a track or the grass or
Mhm.
something, and like didn't bounce at all. And you made a point there about soft surface training that I thought was super interesting. Why don't you talk about that for a minute?
Sure. Yeah, it's kind of funny. That was one of my more viral videos, and it's kind of funny. All the simple ones just blow up. Like I just
Yep.
kind of did it because that's a philosophy I've always had, something I've always felt. And when I was explaining it to one of my athletes, I just had that stick as a part of just a normal coaching cue for other things, and I just like bounced it on the concrete. So I'd see, look, like this is what happens, and then I bounced on the dirt, and I'm like, huh, this would probably be a good video, which is where most of my videos come from, is just coaching tips in real life. And so,
Yeah.
so yeah, I made a video on it, and people, I think I made two on that topic, and they both just blew up. And yeah, and so I did do a little research into the actual scientific literature to make sure it was like actually accurate instead of just this stick
Yeah.
bouncing on the ground.
Yeah.
And so I was convinced enough to where it was a decent video. And yeah, I mean, you never know what's gonna blow up, and that one happened to, and I was like a little bit confused because I feel like there's a lot more insightful tips out there, but that's the one people liked.
Yeah, that's the one that it's went super viral, and I'm sure people listening to this, if they didn't know Curtis Beach before, they've seen that video, and now they're like, "Oh, okay, Curtis Beach, all right." I know.
That guy. That's the guy who bounces the stick.
Yeah, I think the algorithm is like so funny on
It
Instagram
is.
because it's like,
Yeah.
oh, I made a video before Chicago, and I was like, this is the one that's going to the moon, and it flopped. And then I'll just do like, just half effort on one, right? And then it's just like it does great, and I'm just like, I don't
Mhm.
understand, but
Yep. Yeah.
I don't know.
No, like it's hard to predict. I don't know. Like I've been really trying to crack the code, and I think I've been getting a little better, but you just never know.
So what's your you mentioned, so when you were coaching, what do you do for coaching now? Are you coaching individual athletes? I think you coach at a school as well, a college. So what do you
Mhm.
do like coaching wise now?
Yeah, so I have a club here in San
Oh,
Diego,
cool.
just a group of 12 to fluctuates anywhere 12 to 15 athletes at any given time, and all high performance high school athletes, and a group of multi eventers, sprinters, and jumpers. Um, and the highest I'll go is like 400, 800, but I don't coach anyone like actual distance. So it's like more of a sprints jumps group. And it's awesome. That's my main thing. And I do some one-on-one coaching with adults, not as much. And what I'm really pushing for, and a big reason of doing social media, is doing more online coaching. And so I'm just kind of getting that going.
Are you going to be focused on like getting people doing mainly sprints and like multi stuff? Is that kind of what you're looking for?
Yeah, sprints, multis, whatever people ultimately want and are asking for. Like if that leads more to jumps, I'll do more of that, or more hurdles, I'll do more of that. Like fortunately, it's versatile. And yeah, you did mention. Just want to touch on I am a part-time college coach at Point Loma Nazarene University,
Nice.
and
Oh,
so
very
I'm
cool.
working with their jumpers and multis, and it's the best track in the world. Like I just feel so lucky to be there with that. It's an amazing team, like amazing coaches, amazing place to be, and yeah, just lucky environment too to be
What
in.
what a unique experience to go to that school and be able to be coached by someone like you who's like such a high. I mean, dude,
Yeah.
you're I mean, your PRs are crazy. I'll read them off real quick. Like just for people listening to this, mostly runners, 147, 800, 46 seconds, 400, 10, 500. And you ran 359 in the 1500 too. So like
Hmm.
you had pretty good aerobic capacity as well. So, what was unique about you, I think, was you could compete at several events just in the individual event at the pro level, not just the decathlon. And I don't think a lot of decathletes can say that. I'm sure some can. Maybe Ashton Eaton as well. I'm sure she could have.
Ashton, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, of
yeah,
course. And
yeah.
unfortunately, at the time, I think you got runner up to him at the trials in 12. Is that right?
Well, no, I really flopped it in the decathlon, but
Oh, did you?
yeah, so I didn't get runner up to him. In the 1500, I did. I that was the one where I just let him
Okay.
take the win as he broke the world record, for the last
Yeah.
event. Which no, this is like a funny thing. Um,
Yeah.
and but no, I think I got like maybe 10th or 11th. I actually didn't have a very good decathlon there.
Okay.
Um,
I was thinking of the
so
1500. Yeah.
yeah, it was a 15. So yeah.
Yeah. That is unique, like from a coaching standpoint. And like maybe will be great for you is like you can coach like all these different events, which is like really useful because you know so much about them. I'm curious, like when you were training, how do you like structure like a week of training as a decathlete? Like, do you do certain events each day, or how does that usually work?
Yeah, it's a lot of like what we're able to have capacity for. So it's kind of a best bang for your buck type of thing. And I generally focus on athletes' strengths because I find that more work in the strengths actually gets you more points than just focusing on the weaknesses. Um, Usually there's a lot of work done in the weaknesses and you just don't get very far. So if you just focus on the strengths, you do pretty good. But generally, the model of the week is we'll do acceleration on a Monday, more max velocity, top speed on a Tuesday, more speed endurance on a Wednesday. So we just kind of go up the ladder from acceleration, top speed, speed endurance. Thursday will be more recovery. Friday we'll do another excel type of day. And then Saturday be more like special endurance, so like more 8:15 work. We'll usually jump twice a week, so on like a Tuesday and a Friday. So usually on those either top speed or another Excel day. And we'd usually replace the running workout with just a jumping workout because you get pretty much the same thing. Um, we just add the throws at the end. You can get a lot of volume of throws 4 to 6 days a week. You can do that.
Mm.
Um, and yeah, put the lifting on the more power days, and that's generally the outline.
Do
What?
you see when people get into decathlon, do you see them coming from running and just
Hmm.
naturally being good at field sports, or do you see it kind of the other way around where maybe they're super good at throwing a javelin or jumping?
Yeah, that's a good question because you could have very, very different athletes end up with the exact same score at the end, which is
Yeah.
pretty cool. Like
So
one of
interesting
my
about that event.
yeah, it's crazy. Like one of my training partners when I was competing was an amazing thrower, and I was great in the running. We were just total opposites, and like we all trained together, had the same sort of model. But yeah, I mean it's varies. At the end of the day, you still have to be a great runner because it's so running focused. I think it's very biased towards running because you're running in like all the jumps, you're running in the hurdles. You know, you have to have a big range. And then the throws are just the only one where it's 30% of the whole decathlon, and that's the only three with not a lot of running. Um, so yeah, you got to be a good runner, but it really is a variety outside
And
of that.
it's probably geared more towards fast twitch athletes, right? I mean, you
Yeah,
have 400, 100, I mean, I guess 800, you could probably put a sprinter out there and they fare pretty well.
yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah. No, exactly. And like that's how I ran the 8 was just all aerobic. I mean, anaerobic, like speed reserve. Like, like I get to 1,000 meters, like barely, but anything after that was a big cliff after that. Um, so yeah, mostly speed oriented for sure.
I really enjoyed your explanation of the different races at the Tokyo World Champs,
Oh,
like the 800. How you're just like talking through the races and like coming from someone like you who's again has really fast PRs at these distances, knows all the events very well. It was very like educational because like I was a 5K 10K guy in college, so it was like really interesting to hear you like kind of break it down as the race was
oh, that's
happening
cool.
in the stadium. So it was
Yeah.
awesome.
I was like, what's something that no one's ever seen before? Like an actual, like, just
Yeah.
whatever. That's kind of like what I love to do. Um, I don't know. I almost even didn't even post that video. I was like, this is kind of cheesy, but yeah, no, I'm glad you like it. And it's also weird. Oh, sorry, you had a question.
well, I was gonna ask you to explain that one to me because I don't think I
Yeah.
saw that video.
Oh yeah. So basically for the 100-meter final, um, one of my buddies had the phone and they said on your marks, and then as they were getting their blocks, I panned to me and I just talked about like what their mentality's like in the blocks. And then right as they said set, he panned right back to set and they went through the race and I explained just the race model as they're going through it.
Mm,
And then they finished the 100-meter final and it was just like a live explanation of like the world championship 100 in a
okay.
very technical educational aspect as opposed to just commenting on the race.
So you have that for 10 events, like that insight to I mean, you're probably the most equipped person to be like an overall like track club coach or
Yeah.
college coach.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, maybe, but there's people that are smarter than me in so many ways and in a lot of ways, and I definitely see the gaps. Like, there's a lot of people who don't put a lot of content out there who did the decathlon that I'm learning a lot from, and I do feel very, very fortunate to have learned from coaches like Dan Paff and my college coach Sean Wilborn and my high school coach Adam Kedge. Coach Kedge took athletes to the team several times to Nike Cross Nationals, and just an amazing coach. Coach Wilborn has won ACC championship titles, and Dan Pav has coached like world record holders, Olympians. So I just feel so lucky to have been around those groups of guys, and I just still see the gap between where I'm at and them, and
Mm.
I'm just like almost like just filtering some of their best nuggets too, just like and putting it out there. But no, very fortunate to have done a lot of events and also see how all the events connect together.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Yeah, it is critical to have like really good coaches along the way. Like I think, now we coach people and I've had several, good experiences with my high school coach was excellent. I actually had a college coach that wasn't that great and I learned a lot from
Same.
him too and what not to
Yeah,
do
you
kind of.
mhm.
And that's,
Yeah.
that's how it goes. You need to, take the good nuggets from people and then also understand how to separate the bad ones too.
No, exactly. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, I'd agree, but fortunately, I didn't have too many bad coaches. Like, Altus is an incredible environment. My other coach, Kyle Hierholzer, was great. John Godina, like, set the whole thing up, and it was just, maybe I don't wish I had more worse coaches, but I got lucky with the groups of people I was around for sure.
You mentioned your college coach and I think you were a superstar in high school. Correct me if I'm wrong, but how did you? I'm sure you had options, right, of where
Mhm.
to go for college. How did you land on Duke?
I just connected best with Coach Wilborn at the end of the
Nice.
day. You know, my I was very motivated in high school, and track was I was very myopic and tunnel vision with like I want to be the best track athlete I could be. I want to make the Olympics, give the world record a shot. I was just so like all about track, and Duke was what I felt the best place to develop for the long term, like beyond college and into the pros. Given that the nature of the program was still developing, and I was gonna get a lot of attention and dedication from him because at the time the team wasn't that good. Honestly, they were finishing the bottom of the ACC. But I really believed in Coach Wilborn, and it paid off. You know, we won 2 NCAA titles, and it was great. Yeah,
Yeah, that'll do it.
yeah,
That's
it
awesome.
was good.
Yeah,
You're
by the end
from
of it, we
you're
went from the
from
bottom to 2 NCAA titles. It's not bad.
what?
Yeah, I mean, well, the team didn't win 2 NCAA titles, but
Yeah. Oh,
well, yeah, like wait, yeah,
Well,
no, that would have been insane. But they have won ACCs, but for the men and women, you know, since he's taken over as head coach. So, um, you know, that's tough. Yeah, so I think that's one of the hardest conferences. So,
what years were
um,
you at Duke?
2009 to I had a 5th year at 2014.
Nice.
Okay. Do you know any Ramses decathletes at UNC?
Oh yeah. I do.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
my
yeah.
they're friends of mine. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. I remember. Yeah, I know. I definitely remember them. Yeah, yeah.
Ryan and John.
Right.
John, I was just with
Ryan,
John over the weekend here in St. Louis. He stayed at
really?
my house, and
That's
yeah, he was
awesome.
here for a wedding. So
Yeah, I
small
knew
world.
Ryan. Yeah, I knew
Okay.
Ryan over at UNC.
Yeah,
Yeah.
was at John's bachelor party with Ryan. So
Oh, really? Nice. That's so funny.
No way. What a
Yeah.
connection.
small world.
Track world. Love the track world.
Dude, Curtis,
Yeah.
you mentioned like that tunnel vision. Do you think like to be like at the highest level of sport and track and field, it requires like that ultimate like tunnel vision and focus like you had at that time? Like I guess talk about the mental aspect of it, like 'cause I'm sure you were focused on like diet and sleep and all that stuff, like the 1% type stuff as well. Do you think it like really requires that to be at the highest level, or do you think like some athletes maybe don't do that and they just like fully rely on talent? Do you think?
You know, I think most athletes it does require that. I think it requires a level of obsession and lifestyle. Like it's not just you show up to practice and expect to get better or do everything you're supposed to do at practice and then you just leave it at the door and it's done. It's done. You know, for me at least, and for most athletes I know, it's a whole lifestyle. It's you don't leave any stone unturned. You're thinking of every little thing about how it can help. Um, how everything you're doing is either helping your main passion or if it's hurting. And you like for me, like every decision I made in high school went through a very simple filter, which was, is this good for track or is this bad for track? And if it was good, I did it. If it was bad, I didn't do it. And I think that's probably a little much. I probably should have just like I would have done better if I was a little more relaxed, I think, and not so so obsessive about it. So I do think there's a certain degree of turn on the switch, turn off the switch of like relax or be on. Um, but yeah, I really do think if you're gonna be the highest levels, you gotta be all about it and just fully committed.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I was kind of the same way. I went to a much smaller scale. I went to a small D2 here in Louisville, and but I was like really locked into just being the
Yeah.
best I could be diet wise, everything. But I think like in college, like it kind of goes one of two ways. Like you either get like that, or you like like, oh, like there's parties I can go to, and then like kind
Yeah,
of
exactly.
do a mix of sport and play,
Right,
right? And
right.
so there's two ways you can go in college, right? But I think
Mhm.
all the people that end up professional probably are like you, where they end up really focusing, locking in on it. Don't go to the parties.
I think so, and I think it also depends on the event. Like, I know pole vaulters who are very good. Like,
Yes.
I don't want to name them, but they would like stay out. Like, there's a guy I know who went out at night, super drunk, whatever, slept on the pole vault pits, woke up the next day, got a PR. Like that's sometimes I mean I don't think that's like sustainable. But sometimes that happens. But I also think that it comes in waves. I think some people can really lock in for several years and then have a year or two where they just kind of lose it, but they still have all the talent almost in a lagging measure. Where like I do think there's some pros that especially towards the end of their career are still pretty good, but they just don't have the same mentality they had, but still have the talent to keep doing really well. And I also think at different points in your life and career does require a different mentality. I think there might be a time to be very obsessive and then a time just to like just have maintenance mode and especially people with families and all that. Um,
Yeah.
I think you can change the structure of it depending on your stage of life and development.
Yeah, it seems like the Olympic years, especially, everyone's kind of like really focused on doing everything right and
Now it's
getting
fun.
that extra sleep, all that stuff. Yeah, yeah.
I hate that. I hate this like all of a sudden the Olympics come. It's like, oh, like now I'm gonna be okay. It's like, do you really love the sport or do you just want to be an Olympian? Which is fine either way. But it's
Yeah,
like I don't know. I'm more of a track guy and not an Olympic guy. That's just my whole thing.
nice.
Yeah.
So you are not competing anymore now, correct?
Nope.
So when did you retire, and what drove you to the decision to retire? Because you're still pretty young, right? So at what point did you realize you wanted to retire, and why did you?
Well, I never wanted to.
Of course, yeah.
You know. uh I mean, so in 2016 I didn't so I really retired in 2020, like right
Okay.
as the pandemic. I had been training. I'd been injured for like a year and a half, just really just grinding through the injuries. I started to get healthy and was starting to get back in good shape, and then the whole season shut down when the pandemic came, and that's when my career really ended because at that time the opportunity cost of doing track for the other things I could do just outweighed itself, and I felt that my chances of success were going down and it was still really hard, and then the cost of giving myself a chance was just going up and up and up, especially as I was getting older.
Mhm.
Like, I could get my career started, I could get my whole life, like, because it is a lifestyle, especially in the decathlon, like, you give
Mhm.
everything up to do it, and, yeah, it was hard, and emotionally, I don't think I really accepted it until, like, years after too. But 2016, I started to feel pretty burnt out from the decathlon, um, and then it was almost like a slow burn to just try and try and try and try, and it was just, like, going like this, going like this, going like this, and eventually after, like 3 or 4 years of just going for it and not getting the same success was when I just started to change directions.
Are you a runner? Do you need running shoes, gear, apparel, more? If so, I got the scoop for you. Kencom's Running Store is the best place to buy any running supplies you need. Located in the St. Matthews area of Louisville, Kentucky, their friendly staff will take excellent care of you. If you are a newer runner and need help finding the right shoes, or you're looking to get plugged into the Louisville running community, this is where you need to start. If you don't live in Louisville, check out werunlou.com. We have a discount code and the link to the website in the show notes, and the shipping is free for purchases over $100. I promise you, Matt and team are the friendliest people you can meet. Don't hesitate. Get your running supplies at Kencom's Running Store and support an amazing local business. Does coaching still like light that flame for you, like your passion now, or does it not
Hmm.
quite make the same feeling as competing?
It didn't at first. No.
Yeah.
I started coaching because that was, I mean, that's a whole other topic, but, like, uh yeah, no, it didn't at first, to be honest.
Yeah.
I started coaching because it's important to me to do something. So I got a job. I learned that I really did not like employment. I hate having an actual job. I hate having a boss. I just hate all of it.
What were you doing?
I was actually they were cool jobs, and the fact that I didn't like them told a lot. So I worked in I worked in marketing at Teamworks,
Okay.
and literally an incredible company. Like, seriously, like, I learned so much from those guys. I just didn't like trading my time for money for someone else's dream or whatever. That was the whole thing. Um, then I delved more into design, so product design, so UX, UI design,
Cool.
and like developing apps and websites, and I worked for a startup in the military space, and we developed 2 apps. And so, love inventing things, the whole like creativity part of it, and just designing new products. So I did that for a year, literally the best job you could possibly imagine. It was remote. I could go travel in Europe while I worked. Like, incredible startup company. I had so much freedom for what I designed, but like still, to me, it just felt so unfulfilling. After like whatever 8 or 9 months, and so I'm like, okay, if I can't be fulfilled with this, I gotta go do my own thing. And then the best connection was come to San Diego where I can coach all year round. It's a skill I know I can that people are willing to pay for. Pretty low risk. And I really did it because I wanted to just own my own like business and just grow that. And so I've been doing that for like 3 years now. Um Full time. I've been coaching for over a decade,
Yeah.
but full time doing that. And then now it's everything's blending into like social media and all that. So
Sounds like a very similar situation to me quitting my job about a
really?
month ago. So
Yeah,
yeah,
you said health insurance. I'm like, oof.
yeah, I did it for 6 years,
Yeah.
and it was like kind of a darker side of it. It was involving personal injury accidents and stuff. So it was like
Yeah,
it was tough at times. So, but yeah,
yeah,
just to be like totally open here, like I had a panic attack during work one day. Never had
right.
one before in my life, right? And
Wow,
so like that was like a pretty like pivotal moment where I actually like stepped down from my management role and like I was
wow,
like, yeah, dude, like this is just the stress. I was like, this is like physically affecting me now. So,
wow. Right.
but we
Good for
started
you.
this. Yeah, it's just like we started
Yeah,
this as kind of just for fun, and now here we are. So
that's
I think,
great. Yeah.
yeah,
No, that's awesome. Like sometimes it's like it's not like reaching for something big. It's like whenever you hit like your whatever your rock bottom is.
yep,
It sounded like that might have been your moment. Like I've had my
yep,
moments, and it's just like sometimes the risk of doing something of your own is less painful than the than the other
yep.
side of it, even if it brings
Mm,
comfort. So
yeah, 100%. Man, so you were a developer then for the company building apps?
I was a designer, so I didn't do the development. I understand development to like on a high level, like how to design an app so a developer can take that and just
Run
use
with
and
it.
just run with it. Yeah. But I wouldn't say that I'm truly able to just dive into the code that well. Um,
If you ever
yeah.
wanna if you ever wanna build an app and talk turkey, Danny's the guy that develops the apps. So
Oh, no way. I have endless ideas. We can talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk.
Yeah.
Let's hear
For
one right
sure.
now. Why not?
Sure. Okay. Yeah. So, well, I did make a stopwatch app. And I partnered with a developer back in 2017, and I had to kill it because I couldn't keep up with the development cost. I thought that I could just make it and it would just live, and that's not the case.
Yeah.
Um, and so, but basically, it was an app where you could time multiple athletes at once, where you could have like an iPad.
Mhm.
You press start, all the times start at once, and as everyone comes through, you just split them individually,
Yeah.
and then you just save it, and then it auto had like the weather and the wind and everything, and then it would just go right to a CSV file, right to your data, and it was just awesome. So that was one that I did. It was out there, and yeah, I mean, there's another
I like
one.
that.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, yeah. So I mean, that's something that I think would work. You could use the volume buttons for timing. Um, so you actually have a
nice.
physical component instead of like trying to find a button, which I hate on the current iPhone app.
Mm.
So you would just have like you could start them all with one, and then as you click the other button, you would actually go through. You would order everyone as they're like switching around, and you just click 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it'll just split, 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 split
Yeah.
as they go through. And it worked pretty well. My coaches used it. Um, yeah, there's been a few that have gotten some traction, but like um never really fully made the leap into a real like business or anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um just
Well,
was fun side projects that had a little bit of use. So
that's cool. Yeah.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
I feel like there needs to be a new Rana. Like I feel like
Mm.
Rana is a really good idea, but it's not good enough, you know?
Interesting. Yeah. What do you not like about it?
Everyone I know who does it, their workouts are like way too hard for
Yeah,
them,
way too aggressive. Yeah.
for their
Oh, okay.
capability. Um
Oh, I see.
Like the
so
AI
like
is not great. It's much better for like a couch to 5K type of person, but even then, it's like a little too aggressive. I think that's what we hear from people that come from Rona to be coached by us. Yeah, it's a little too
Oh, I
aggressive.
see. I
Yeah,
see. It's just standardized, like almost cookie cutter to here do these, but it's just too much. It doesn't quite tailor it to.
yeah, like the workout paces are too fast, stuff like that. Yeah,
Right.
I mean, my understanding is it's like AI, so like
Mm.
just
Yeah. Like if you do a run a plan and you are training for a sub 3 hour marathon, it gives you the paces that you should be hitting if you're training for like a 2:53 marathon. And that's a big jump. Like, so I think that if you're like well ahead of schedule if you're hitting everything Runa is giving you. But on the
Mhm.
other hand, you're gonna get burnt out mentally. There's higher risk of injury and all those things that
Yeah.
come with training a little bit above your capability.
Right. Right. Yeah, you can make those little adjustments. And then also what I'm finding is like it's not just the workouts that matter. Like they want some connection. They want a coach to check in on you. Hey, how are you doing?
Yep.
Like the little like check-ins, like make the
Ye-
biggest difference, you know?
yeah, one big thing for us is a community aspect too. We have like a
Mhm.
Exactly.
team, we have a team
Oh
Discord,
yeah.
and so they're just
Oh, that's cool.
always chatting in there. They meet in real life. They're some of them meet up in the same city to run.
Really? Wow.
Yeah,
And you have how
yeah,
many
yeah.
athletes? Over 100 or 100-ish?
It's like 65 now, I think,
65. Nice.
65, yeah.
and
Wow.
they're all in there.
That's a
And
lot.
yeah, we were at
So
Chicago
cool.
Marathon this weekend. They were going crazy in there, like just all glued
Yeah.
to their phones. Yeah, like
No
it's
way.
so
That's
fun.
awesome.
That's what people want. Like a lot of people will train
Yeah.
alone and in
Mhm.
that community, so it's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what I think, honestly, like with all the AI stuff happening, like people want something real, like a real connection. And I think
Yep.
ultimately, I don't think communities, I don't think they're going to go away. I think they're going to be highly more valued, you know? So if you can have that community, then that's going to be a key selling point, I think, a
Yeah.
key value add. Yeah.
100%. So, oh, go ahead, Danny, if you're gonna say something.
No, I think like the in real life meetups are awesome to see. There's a couple guys in Canada who we coached who I just saw them running together. It was
Yeah.
Wes and
Really?
yeah,
Yeah.
and
That's awesome.
I'm like I didn't even know they were anywhere near each other in Canada. But we sit on our medium-sized screens all day at work, right?
Yeah.
And then we go on the couch and the big screen's on while we sit on the couch and scroll on the little screen. And it's like people just want off the screens, I think, and
Yeah.
real connection.
Yeah.
And that's something
Yeah.
the sport gives, right?
Yeah, no, that's so cool. And it's cool that you like created this thing. So you see it in the Discord, you see these people in the Discord, but then
Mhm.
it's like, wait, it's real. Like
And it
people are
gets out of
actually,
there. Yeah, it's pretty
hmm
amazing.
yeah, almost like it just has a life of its own, and it's just like going. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Curtis, you're at track practice and you got a new runner, and you're like trying to fix up their running form. What are like, and obviously you're mainly working on sprints. So, like, what are like a couple, maybe like two or three things you're looking at? Are you looking like their arms, their foot strike? What are you looking at
Mm.
like for running form?
Depends on the athlete and their stage in development, but the very first layer is honestly like their demeanor and eagerness to like want to be there. Some especially with high school athletes.
Yeah.
Usually, fortunately, I get athletes that truly want to be there and eager to be there. So it's like the psychological part. Then the next piece is what is their strength levels and mobility levels like? Because like that has to be a certain threshold to even start skill development. And if that's not there, then I might point them more towards conditioning and just very general. So I don't really coach many younger athletes anymore. I did, but now I just self-select for athletes that are already a certain baseline. So once they
Yeah.
have that baseline, um, honestly, what I do is I just watch them run. I just say, hey, we'll get warmed up and stuff, and then have 40, 50 meters. It's like just run it 50%, 60%, 70%, and just watch them. And what I look for in terms of form is when I look at their posture, like are they leaning back, leaning too far forward? I'll see, are they reaching forward? Are they pushing back? And then from whatever they're looking like, I definitely look at their feet. Like, are they like pointing their toes down and jabbing into the ground? Are they dorsiflex pulling through? Um, and then depending on what they look like there, I just give them very, very general cues. I don't send them straight to drills or anything. I don't go through this whole sequence. I just say, hey, just try doing this. Like, run a little more front side, run a little more flat, like on your, instead of like so toey or back on your heels, like. And then from there, they actually kick things up like fairly quickly to get a certain understanding of it.
Hmm.
And then I'll go deeper into the details of like a certain drill sequence and more of the exact timing that they need to go through with the sequencing of like firing the hips and all the way down to their feet. And so, but yeah, and then sometimes they can't hit the mobility levels or the range of motion, and so they might be stuck in like their hip might be a little locked up or their ankles or whatever. So you might do a little mobility there just to at least allow them the freedom to get to that.
Yep.
Um, but but yeah, it's fun. You just see it, and it's like, okay, what direction is this gonna go? Like, there's not a real plan, just kind of a model of like you go here and then here and then here, then here, then here, then here,
Yeah.
and then sometimes you go back, and then it's like, and one other thing on that too, it's like I'll start with like more awareness, and then they'll get the concepts at like a easy level with very like no pressure, no high speeds. And then once they get that, then it's like, then you add a little more speed. And then once they get that, then you add some fatigue. And then once they get that, then you add like more pressure and like more of a meet environment. So it kind of goes through those stages too. So
Yeah. It is fun, like, everyone's got kind of different form, right? So it is probably fun for just knowing you're passionate about coaching and doing this stuff, like kind of figuring out like, okay, what do I got to do with this guy to like get him
mhm.
moving in the right direction. So that's cool.
Yeah, it's cool. And then it's sometimes it's like, how much do you change for them? Because
Sure.
they've adapted their whole strength profile is adapted to a certain like line of motion, especially with distance.
Mm,
Like distance, I go back and forth about how much to change form. I think it's important, but I think the energy systems are way more important to me.
Sure.
That being said, like I think you get overuse injuries through bad form.
mm,
But but yeah, sometimes I just let some things go because they're so good in a certain aspect, and the timeline might be too short to where it's like, all right, let's fix this and this. This might be more beneficial, but like if we try changing it, you might get worse before you get better. And if we're already in the middle of the season, it's like just don't even mess with it. So
Sure. Yeah, I'm one of those people with terrible form, so
yeah,
gotta sometimes I try to fix it, but sometimes it's just like I don't know. Not
yeah, and the thing is, you got to reprogram everything. It's like,
sure.
you fix something, and I don't know, like if you got to mobilize your hip, and then all of a sudden, like you're moving different, and then you got to go back to the drills and just change your habits. Um, so that's hard. I mean, shoot, like Sharon Lochetti like doesn't have, in my opinion, the best form, but she's like one of the best runners in the world.
Great
She's
example.
made it work. You
Yeah.
know,
what
she's
what should
she's been good.
what should Connor Mance fix on his form?
Oh, I don't know. I don't. I haven't looked at it too closely. Honestly. All I know he's got a great team around him. He's got a great strength coach. Another fellow New Mexico guy, and whatever he's doing, I think is working. So I don't know.
Yeah. So do you think there's more gains to be had in a short, like a sprinter fixing their form than say a 5K runner?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, I think basically anytime you go to any like a certain sport or a certain event, there are the things that just filter the top that matter more than anything else. And I think you can identify those things based on who's already at the top and what are the similar traits.
Um,
So if you look at the 100-meter dash, everyone has incredible like front side mechanics. Like not every, I mean, not they have varying degrees, but like when you compare the 100-meter dash form to the variety you see in the 10K,
Yeah.
there's a lot more variety there at the highest levels than there is in the 100-meter dash. So like
Mm,
I believe like in that case form matters a lot more, especially in other techno events like long jump, triple jump, high jump, pole vault, and tons of technique, tons of speed.
Yep.
But then in distance, everyone has a certain level of aerobic capacity, and so that's the baseline there. So I do think that all parts matter a lot. And what you can do is, I think sometimes to get a competitive edge in a place like the 10K or the marathon, when you're just kind of bumping, like you're just right there with everybody, is pull something that matters a ton with another event and then bring it to this, and then that'll give you that extra boost, even if it's not the biggest number one, I guess, rock, so to speak, in that area.
Yeah.
Same thing with other sports, like football, like basketball. Team environment matters more than anything. Communication matters a ton. Not as much in track, but you can still bring stuff from those sports over, and just all of a sudden you get this extra little boost. So
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, in the short, like the 100-meter dash, like it's such a short race, like just any of the short sprints. So it's like if you just fix those like little minuscule things, they can go a long way. Because like tenth of a second in an event like that, I mean, that's like an eternity in the 100-meter. Like meant like that can make the difference of winning gold and getting sixth place. In men's 100-meter dash show.
oh yeah,
Yeah, that's a great point.
yeah. I mean, you see guys reaching just a little bit towards the end. We call it pressing, and they just lose form a little bit that last 30, and it's like toast.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
or they get injured, and that's the other thing.
yeah.
It's like you lose form, like a guy overstriding in the 400 with the amount of power going through the hamstrings, like right there, like they're not even going to make it. They're not going to be healthy enough to compete well if they don't have good form.
Yeah, that's
So
a great point.
yeah.
Why is Mondo Duplantis so good at pole vaulting?
Well, I will say I heard a story that the owner of UCS sent his dad a little baby pole vault pole for him as like a birthday present when being born. So Mondo literally got a little pole vault pole when he was born, which is insane.
That's amazing.
Literally born to vault. Yeah, and his dad was an incredible vaulter, Greg Duplantis, and his mom, I think, was a heptathlete for Sweden. So I think he's already have a lot of natural talent. He grew up with a pole vault pit in his backyard. He's faster. Like, he won the Louisiana State meet in the 100 in high school,
Yep,
and
Whoa.
he's quick.
he's run 10.3. He's great technical capabilities that he's trained from when he was a kid. And also mentally, he's just at the next level. He just like how he can set that many world records in a year from like January and February all the way to the end. Like, most pros can't sustain that, or they get anxious, or they self-sabotage. And for some reason, his mindset is like just so resilient and optimistic and just unlimited. So from like a mindset, lifestyle, natural abilities, growing up with it all, like it's like the perfect storm of everything that just coincided, in my opinion.
How would he do in a decathlon?
I think he'd do great. He'd
Think
be one of the best in the world. Yeah.
Elite level, really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, because what's funny is, like, I think he grew up around baseball, and I think his brother played at LSU, I think.
Mhm.
And I saw a video of him years ago, like hitting a home run with a baseball bat, just like knocking it out of the park. And so, like, that tells me he could throw, like he could do the javelin. He just has the capability. So for his ability to learn new movements, which is at like next level with the pole vault, plus his speed levels, plus I'm assuming he could throw. He's pretty lean. Like, he'd probably run the 15 and the 4. Yeah, he would be really good. Yeah.
I I wonder guys like him and like Jakob Ingebrigtsen, like, they're young. They've had a lot of, well, Mondo specifically has pretty much done everything you could want to do in the pole vault
Hmm.
sport. So it's like, how much longer does he compete? Is he still feeling motivated at this point? He's by far the best. He's Olympic gold. He's got all the world records. Like,
Hmm.
how much longer is it going to be like fun? Like, will it be fun for him still? Like he's done everything. So it's like,
I
where's
don't know.
I don't know.
I
What you
think
guys
he
think
wants
about
640. I think he wants 21 feet. You
Yeah.
know, I think I think I think right now, like his goals are beyond. I can only speculate. I don't know for sure, but
Yeah.
I think his goals are beyond Olympic gold. I think they're even beyond world record. I think I might be wrong, but there might be a quote of him saying he wants to be the best pole vaulter ever, past, present, future. So not just set the world record, but like
Yeah.
anybody who might come in the future, he wants to be so good that no one ever, like actually all time. And I think that might be another motivating factor too.
Like a
Um,
Usain Bolt level freak of nature athlete.
yeah.
Yeah.
And even like beyond that, it's like there's no one like it could be the year 3000 something, people still pole vaulting, still couldn't touch Mongo. Like just imagine like thinking of it like for the next millennia, there will be no other pole vaulter that would be better than me. And
That'd be,
you know,
yeah, I feel like there might
yeah.
be other factors. Who knows?
Oh, for sure.
What's
There's
gonna
gonna be a lot of other. I mean, who knows what's gonna happen in 10 years with technology? So,
Yeah.
um,
The
but
super shoe of the pole vault comes out.
right, yeah, it's gonna be like a little spring-loaded rocket.
What do you think about Fred Curley in the enhanced games?
Mm,
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's his prerogative. I think that I'd be interested in watching it. I don't think
Would you?
I live. I'd be interested in watching it.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I want to see. Honestly, I don't think people there are gonna surpass the people who are currently in like the clean part too. And not because people are like implicitly doping in the and what's supposed to be clean, but I just think that um you're just not gonna have as many good athletes. Although Fred Curley's a little bit of a anomaly there. So
Yeah.
um I don't know. I mean, I'm a fan of like staying within the rules like of the sport. And if he chooses to be in a different area with different rules, like go for it. And you just don't come back to this. Just like with
Mm,
baseball, you have a freaking statue of Barry Bonds at the stadium.
fair.
People are glorifying him, and he clearly did doping. So it's like at what like where do you place the morality of doping is a certain question. It seems to be, at least the popular opinion, seems to have a it's like good or not, it's never good, but it's the level of how bad it is depends on the sport, it seems like, and in what context. And that to me, I've never really been able to like
It's a great point.
wrap my head around.
Well, it's about the culture around the sport, right? Like I think that
Mhm.
has more to do with it. And like in some
Okay.
ways you could argue that if you watch and you're supporting it and therefore are complicit.
Oh.
I probably wouldn't go that far. Like I'm not
Mm.
saying that at all because there are definitely like I watch the NFL and there are
Right.
definitely like some questionable things about that.
Oh, growth hormone everywhere. Like
Well,
for
I mean,
sure.
not even
Yeah.
that, just like the
Yeah.
CTE discussion of like these
You're
people
right.
are in a pit, like, you know, it's
Yeah.
kind of fighting to the death,
Oh,
which
I
is
don't
like
know. That
a
is
lot
true.
worse. Yeah.
That is true. And same in college. Like that's even
And in
worse, I
college.
think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Well, they're getting paid now at least. And so, I mean, that's a little bit better.
True.
Like it was
True.
worse
True.
when the NCAA was just hoarding all the money, but,
Right, right.
in
It's
the
like, wait,
colleges.
come here for 4 years, like bash your head, like you go get a degree in general studies, and off you go.
Yeah. I mean, like,
Um,
who's to say, like, a lot of people would go bash their heads in to set their family up for generational wealth, I think. So,
mhm,
I mean,
yeah, which is great if you make the NFL,
yeah.
but yeah, but if you're playing football at some other school where you're gonna have to go work in insurance afterwards, but you never got or you can't even get a job because
Mhm.
like you didn't ever study, you just played football,
That's fair. Yeah.
you know.
Yeah,
Um,
I think Fred Curley's decision to go to the enhanced games, I mean, he got popped right before that, right? And so that was is
It
that
was a
true?
yeah.
whereabouts
It
failure.
was a
Was it?
whereabouts
Okay.
there. Yeah, it was a whereabouts. And by the way, I have my own opinions on the whole USADA and WADA. I think obviously I think what they're doing is very good, but I do think that they structure it sometimes for like gotcha moments with certain people that might deserve a little more grace.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's a very touchy subject, and I'm like almost cautious of even like going there. But like, but I think he missed his whereabouts.
Yeah.
That's the rules. You don't want
Right.
to. It's not that hard, and it's annoying. It's really annoying with whereabouts. Like it's the most annoying thing ever. But like, um,
What's the penalty for
yeah,
missing whereabouts? You have to miss multiple, right, to get penalized? 3?
yeah,
Okay.
three in any 12-month period. I'm not sure if it's a calendar year or if it's just in a 12-month running cycle. Um, but yeah, it's like you miss one, and then it's like okay, be on it. Then you miss two, then you're like okay, like really do it. But I really don't like that they make everyone do it manually. Like having done all of it, it's like it's so hard to know exactly where you're going to be at any given time all the time and have to manually go in and do it. Where it's like for some reason they refuse to just let athletes opt into just a track one iPhone at any given time. And I don't know why they don't allow that. Um,
Mm.
especially and they've even shut down like an opt-in part um, for all of that. So I think there's things that the governing bodies can do to make it easier for athletes to actually remain compliant.
Mhm.
And I think there's certain rules and things in place that are built um, to boost their numbers, but not necessarily reach the end goal of completely having clean sport. I think their incentives are a little misaligned, and
Oh,
there's been a
interesting.
few things. Yeah, yeah.
Interesting. Hmm.
Danny, did you see what Ed Eyestone said on the Chicago Marathon broadcast this week about or yesterday about doping?
Was it something about WADA? What'd he say?
No, he called for lifetime bans for doping positives.
Dude, I
Instead,
mean, like, the whole Ruth Chepngetich running a 2:10 in Chicago last year, being the marathon women's world record holder, and then, like, all of a sudden she starts doping afterwards, like, she gets you know what I mean? It
Yeah, I
makes
know.
no sense, so I think that should absolutely scenarios like that should be stripped, yeah, for sure, and then
Yeah,
Kenya with, like, their egregious record of doping. Yeah, like, I'm in, Stone, like,
yeah.
totally.
yeah,
It makes sense. Yeah, because like some effects they help you for your life. You have whatever more
Yeah.
muscle fibers or whatever. So for certain
yeah.
things.
Which is
So
interesting, yeah,
yeah.
like, Fred Curley now, if he I mean, you might not have to dope to compete in the enhanced games, but you probably are. So, like,
Oh
he's
yeah.
saying bye
They
bye
just
to
don't test.
his
Yeah.
sprinting career. No more Olympics. Like, no
No.
dreams of that ever. So now
No.
we have freaking Noah Lyles to put up with. A goofball.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. It's a weird thing, and it's just so unfortunate because I feel like yeah, because anybody who dopes, it makes you wonder if like the legit performances are actually legit, even if they are.
Yeah,
It's like you
yeah,
get so good,
it's
and
true.
I just yeah, it's unfortunate. So
Curtis, the last thing I wanted to ask you was kind of relevant to me, and I'm sure Danny would be interested in a lot of our listeners. So I would like my top end speed to get a little faster. I think, getting my
okay,
5K, 10K speed faster would like probably benefit me in the marathon as well, just having that like better top end 5K, 10K speed.
okay,
Would you recommend as someone that's coaching a lot of sprints, what can like a long distance runner do? Maybe like any sort of drills or like sprint type stuff that can make my top end speed a little better.
okay. All right. So I think the number one thing to develop speed in general is to just get more muscle fiber recruitment. So just make the engine bigger of like getting more muscle fiber. So what I would do is start lifting heavy, like low reps, high weight. They'll allow you to get a lot more muscle fiber recruitment. So you could do things like power cleans. You could do things like a trap bar deadlift. Like you don't need to go above 6 reps. I'd go like anywhere from 1 to 3 reps, depending on right there. That won't necessarily increase a lot of muscle mass, but it'll allow your nervous system to just pull a lot more from like what your muscles have to offer. And that right there will just allow you to have more spring in your step. And then from there, I would then go to form. Yeah.
Nice. That's really good feedback right there. I'm sure
There we
people
go.
listening will appreciate that.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
go
so a really
dust
good
off
guy
the
to
barbell in my basement.
oh yeah, do that. But get a trap bar, get some 45-pound, just like stack them on there and just lift, just like 4 sets of 4, really slow. Just like barely being able to pull the weight off the ground and just use as much as you can. That would be good. A good resource is you'd probably know him he's actually Connor Mance's strength coach. His name's Braden. Run Strong Coach. He has some good programs
Yeah.
built for distance runners, but like a lot of this stuff is involved, along with a ton of other things like adding in plyometrics to get it to transfer better to running.
Hmm.
So yeah, I'd lift heavy, do some plyometrics. There's a series called Rudiment that would be really good. And then the third level would be more running form. Yeah.
Oh, it's great feedback. I need to
Yeah.
start doing that. I've
Cool.
been doing like high reps, low weight. So
Yeah, that's all
change
distance
that.
runners. Yeah. But the thing is you're getting like the aerobic capacity, you're doing like all the stuff that really like that matters the most. And then it's, kind of come back to the other conversations like, well, if you want to maximize your finishing kick, then or, I mean, even in the 8 in the mile, you have more speed reserve. At least that's what the sprinters call it. Speed reserve is probably another name that distance runners use. But yeah, I would do that. Yeah.
Nice. Anything else, Danny, for Curtis?
Curtis, man, you're a wealth of knowledge in the
Yeah.
sport, and you know a lot more about track and field, especially than you've forgotten more than I will ever know. So thank you for sharing all the golden nuggets today, man. And it's
Yeah.
great having you on.
Well, I really appreciate it. I'm just doing my best. There's a lot I don't know, and I'm glad that some of this stuff was helpful, and I'm really honored that you, that felt that I was worthy of your podcast.
For sure, man. Where can people find you online?
Yeah,
On
yeah.
socials.
Oh yeah, just my name at Curtis Beach. I think Instagram is where I'm at the most. So
Sweet.
Nice. I'll
yeah,
put it in the show notes and make sure you give him a follow. It's great content for if you're any, event you're doing. So I'll put in the show notes, put the link.
cool. Sounds good. Thanks, guys, and I'll follow up with some app designs if you have any interest. So
Yeah, let's do
good to
it.
talk
Please
to you.
do. We'll let us know. Yeah, please do.
Sounds good.
All right.
All right.
Episode 191, Curtis Beach.